Hello, my crafty friends. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Linda Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with Crafty Heron Designs, and I'm going to show you how to make this cute card. We're going to use the Arched Wishes stamp set, and what are the name of these dies? The Everyday Arches dies. You can see I've got quite a few out because I've been using them to make cards. I've kind of tried to resist, but they're so cute. I've seen so many fun things with these dies that I finally did it. So I've got several in the pipeline that I'll be sharing with you over the course of the next couple of months. Since they're finally back on available, they were out of stock for quite a while, so I had to wait to get them. We are going to make this one. I thought it's a cute card for just about anybody. It could be for someone young or for someone young at heart. And it's pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and get started. We're making this card in one of my card classes, and I do those in Greensboro, Georgia. If you are in the area, I would love to have you join me for one of the classes. This is the card kit. So the basics for this card are, this is your standard thick white paper. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Burnish that and set it aside. And then the only other thing we need another piece of basic white. I would say go ahead and do a quarter sheet, so 5.5 by 4 1/4, or 5 1/4 by 4. It's fine. This is going to be for die cutting. And then I thought these were fun colors. I'm using the Azure Afternoon. It's not a color I reach for very often, but I thought it was really fun and festive. So. And very summery. So this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then the Designer Series paper. This is the Beautiful Bokeh 6 by 6 Designer Series paper. And this is 5 1/4 by 4. So that's just gonna layer right there very easily. So let's go ahead and just do that. We'll do some stamping on the inside before we attach that. In case we make a mistake, we can cover it up. So set that aside. So let's see here. This is what I need. So this is the inside. This is the card. I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping on the inside. Just in case I mess it up, then I can turn it over. So I'm going to use the little banner and happy birthday. So I'm going to start with the happy birthday. This is all in this stamp set. You know, when it first came out, I hate to say it, I wasn't super crazy about the stamp set that went with the dies. So that was kind of why I was hesitating. But this one came out, I think it's an online exclusive, and I just thought it was adorable. And so that pushed me off the fence to go ahead and buy this stamp set. So I thought, you know what, you might feel the same way. If you want to purchase anything that I'm demonstrating here today, you can do so in my online store, and you can just go to Crafty Heron Designs, and you will find my store. So I'm going to just go ahead and kind of that. Oh no, that is such a bummer, isn't it? And of course with a cling stamp set, it's a little tricky. Let's see, I'm gonna go, let's see, an opportunity, right? So I do have my blends. Do I want to try to do that? I think I'm going to use a blender pen. Let's see. Let's see if what we want to do here. I know I'm just going to mess it up if I just try and go over it. But, all right, friends, let's see what we can do. So this is a blender pen. As you saw, maybe you didn't see, I just got a little ink on a block, and I'm going to pick up some of this ink with this blender pen, and I'm going to color it in. So, you know, it's fine there because I've got a nice outline to go by. It's going to get tricky when I get down to the bottom. But You know what? It's a handmade card. I've got a little bit of an outline to go by. I think we can do it. Let's come from this way. Work my way in. So this way I'm getting a little bit of practice on the best way to do this. I think it's gonna work. Okay, is there one more there or two? I think there's only one, which means this needs to come out a little bit further. Oh, I think it's gonna work. Phew. You know, I keep these blender pens on hand for exactly stuff like this because, and if you don't have like all the inks or the blends, you need the inks, but you don't necessarily need the blends. Isn't that cool? All right, I hope that little tip can help save you one day. There we go, and then I'm just cleaning it by turning it. You know, when they're new, well, this one's old on both sides, it's stained, but it still works, and you get 3 to a pack, so they're great. Okay, so there's the inside of my card. Whew, save that. So now I can go ahead and put get this out of the way so I don't put my finger in it and smudge again. All right, so let's go ahead and, that threw me for a loop. Okay, so now, that out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and stamp the front of the card. So I'm taking that piece of white here. Now this is a little tricky as well, so I've got a little tip for you. So I'm going to die cut this piece, right? But it's cling, so it's really hard to tell where, you know, where it's gonna be. So I don't wanna die cut it first. I'm gonna go ahead and, that's why I want a big paper, so that I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that first. So, and this little piece is only for, to prevent rocking. So my friend Shirley, she was brilliant. She came up with this little technique, and I thought it was great. Oh my God, I made a mess on that one, didn't I? Let's not do that. But you can see how it rocks. And oh yeah. Okay. Primarily it rocks, I mean, I was exaggerating the rocking a little bit just to show my point, but it is gonna rock because it's an arch, and because this is such a big block. Certainly you could, if you have the Stamparatus or another positioning tool, I would highly recommend you go ahead and use that. But I wanted to show you an option in case you don't have those things, right? But you do need a big block for this set. All right, so let's try this again. I'm gonna go very lightly. Okay, this is a juicy ink pad because I don't use it very often. But I'm really tapping really lightly so that I don't get on the edges. And the nice thing about this dark blue is I can see if I've missed somewhere. So I can really get a good look and make sure that I've got good coverage. Okay, bring this guy back in. And again, I didn't ink here because that's really just for positioning. And I'm just gonna kind of center this. And yay, whew. My C's a little wonky, but that's okay. Now let's see. Yes. So you see it's pretty tight, but I do have enough room. Now I'm kind of just looking at the distance of the letters to make sure that they're pretty even. Okay. And now we'll go ahead. Let me scoot this stuff out of the way. We will be doing more stamping, but I want to go ahead and die cut this. Set that aside. Bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oops. And that plate doesn't go there. Check it one more time to make sure that it's still tight. Another tip I want to give you is when you run your dies through through the machine. Tilt them a little bit. Don't have a very straight edge parallel with those cutting, or the pressure roller. Just makes it go through a little bit easier. Okay. All right, so that, and now I have a piece of, here it is. So a little piece of scrap here. This is about 2 by 3 and 3¼ or so. And we're gonna cut out our cupcake. I thought this was such a cute little cupcake. And we are gonna cut it out. So I'm gonna color it as well. So let's go ahead and ink up our cupcake. Memento, because we're going to do some coloring. So that, and set that baby aside. And so we are going to, let's bring in my little scrap paper again, because I am going to, the blends kind of go through. So I'm going to start with I like to start with the dark blend. I'm going to start with the Calypso Coral, and I'm going to do my shading first. So I'm just kind of going along where I think there would be shading, right? So kind of underneath the layers of the frosting, and then on the side of the cupcake. Go. And maybe a little bit over here. We'll just do a few, just to give it some depth. And then I'm going to come back with the light, and I'm going to blend. And see how I'm going over the dark to draw it into the light, so it blurs that edge and gives you a nice blend. And then I'll finish up the rest of it. So kind of blurring that edge. Going around again here, so that you really don't even notice that there's been like 2 colors, right? And then you also, I think, there we go. I try not to go over the black too much if I can avoid it. It's probably fine, but just in case, I don't want to smear the memento. Sometimes you need to let the memento dry a little bit. And see how I'm kind of letting, there's like a little bit of lighter color. I don't know if you can see that in there. Letting it, making sure it's not like super, super even. All right, so now I'm going to bring in the Azure Afternoon, and I've got the fine tip, and I'm going to color I'm going to give a little color to my candle. I am going to go over that with Wink of Stella to make it a little bit shiny. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with the blends here. I'll start with kind of underneath here, a little bit darker. And then along my lines, I just randomly decided the left side of the line was gonna be where I was gonna put my shading. And then coming in with the lighter blend and going over and blending the light and the dark colors together. Again, you could use that blender pen if you only have the ink and you don't have the blend. You could use any color you want, obviously. And, you could use watercolor pencils, whatever kind of floats your boat. Okay, there we go. Now let's fussy cut this guy. And it's pretty straightforward. I don't want to have too much white around it. So I'm trying to cut it fairly close, but it is going on a white surface, so it really probably doesn't matter because I don't want to cut away all the black either. If it was going to be layered on a darker surface, it would be different. I would probably worry about it more. So as you can see, I kind of come in and I'll come back to that side. I don't know why. I don't know why I do it that way, but it just seems easier for me to go all the way around on the right and then to come back to that. Because I'm right-handed, I can see better if I cut it on the right as well. If you're left-handed, it would be the opposite. All right, there we go. So the other thing that I did was I separated these two very carefully right there along that line, because I'm gonna lay one flat and pop one up. All right, so now, so that's gonna go there, and then that one's gonna be popped up right there. But I want those little fireworks, right? Oh, I forgot to do my sprinkles. I can do that still. Bring in that piece of scrap paper. Do some little sprinkles on my frosting. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna just lay this where I think I want it. I could certainly glue that one down. Let's do that. Because I gotta figure out where I want my sparkles, my fireworks. I know I want one on my cupcake. Maybe I should have waited because I'm gonna pop that guy up. All right. So I'm gonna use crushed curry for this. And I know I want that there. So, let's see, how did it go? Oh yeah. See, I can raise or lower this to kind of make it right in the middle there. Cool. Okay, so now the rest of them, I'm just gonna kind of randomly put all around. Oh well. I'll have to figure out something for that. It'll just look like a random spark, right? Don't you think? Just a little spark. All right, we're done. Just gonna attach this to the front of our card and then put that up on dimensionals. And of course, we've got some bling and we've got to do our Wink of Stella. So thanks for joining me today. If you like what you see, I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up. It helps others to find my channel. And you can follow me on Facebook, or if you subscribe to my channel, then you get notifications when I have future cards. I try to post a card video once a month, but I'll tell you, I have grandchildren and my whole life has become, oh my gosh, so crazy. I have not had as much time as I used to post these videos, but I'm doing my best. I do really enjoy card making and sharing them with you. So gold textured adhesive back dots. They're on the last chance list, but I thought they were really pretty with this set. I like the way the centers work. Let's see, maybe I'll do little ones. Okay, there's 3 different sizes. They're a great color. I think they coordinate beautifully with this crushed curry, and add a little bit of extra bling. Put that one right there. And then Wika Stella. Where's my Wika Stella? Okay, let's see how that goes. Oh yeah, there we go, a little bit of sparkle. Okay, what do you think? Isn't that just really cute and simple, really pretty straightforward? And then if you wanted to decorate your envelope, it would be fun to just put a little, let's put our cupcake, just a blue cupcake on the envelope. There you go. Maybe I'll give them stripes. Orange stripes. And you can certainly color in the rest of the cupcake if you want, but I think I'm going to just leave it like that. That's it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you find some time to do some crafting as often as you can. Thanks for sticking around. Bye for now.